All right. Testing. If you guys can hear me clearly, type Y in the chat box. If you can hear me clearly, type Y in the chat box. All right, thank you guys for joining us tonight. This is our special Power Team Marketing Team call. My name is Brandon Ivey, Global Power with Shopping Sherlock. And this is the call we have every single Sunday. And it is a chance for all of us to come together to have just a chat and an update on what's taking place in Shopping Sherlock on our teams and your teams over the past week. And another chance for you guys to meet each other, ask questions, and see that we are all over the world. As a matter of fact, go ahead and type in the chat box where you are logging in from. I'm logging in from Los Angeles, California. And you guys have time to get on the line, shoot emails or text to your team members who are not here. You want them to be on here to get this information. You know, I used to watch G.I. Joe when I was a kid, and they said showing up is half the battle. And amazing, I get the most phone calls, complaints, and questions from people who never plug into anything that we have going on, and they wonder why, you know, they're not getting the help that they need. So you see we got Florida, Georgia, California, New York, Jacksonville, Florida. That's where my family's from, Jacksonville. Any Ivies you know in Jacksonville, that's my family. Chicago. So we have people all over the place that's here. Canada, in Florida. You're in Florida, Dennis? So Dennis went from Canada to Vegas to Florida. to back to Canada soon, right? Kansas City. We have Stafford, Virginia. So thank you guys for joining us here. I want to congratulate again Stacy Folkema. I don't know if she's on the line right now, but she did get promoted to Power Affiliate within the past week. So congratulations to Stacy. I know that Grandma Margie is getting close. I know Tonya Hayes also got promoted to Star Affiliate, and she already has, I think, 4 or 5 personally enrolled. 2 of them brand new this week as well. So she's making her push to Power Affiliate. And any of you guys that got yourself customers, or you signed if you signed somebody in the business over the past week, type me in the chat box. Well, Marciano's only 1 away from Power. Congratulations, Marciano. So I expect that to happen, you know, this week, Mr. Washington. Gonna see Power next to your name. New Power in Chicago. All right, so what? Dennis is the only one who sponsored somebody last week. I know he had a lot more people that came in this past week. We had a lot of production this week. Margie and Noel, Antonia, good, and Stacy. Antonia sponsored 2. So congratulations. I know a couple of you already registered for the London Convention. If you already registered for the London Convention 6 months from now, type me in the chat box. My wife is clapping right now because she can't wait to go. Are you ready to go to London?
Yes.
Speak up so everybody hear you.
Yes.
My wife can't wait to go to London either. So we're going to be going. Now that's 6 months from now. So I want to say this. Since it has been 1 week now since the convention, I noticed something that's interesting. The people who were at the convention came back and are on fire. Their teams are exploding right now. As Noel said, daily growth is taking place. Daily growth. We said it before. People said, I can't afford to go to the convention, and I say you cannot afford not to. The convention isn't a place where once you make money, then you go. The convention is a place where you go to learn how to make the money. You know, you're in the same room with someone like Laurel Langmeyer. I love what, who was that? I think it was Fabian Robinson. You know what he did? He was down there with all of us, and he pulled Laurel aside, pulled out the camera, and he has her on camera saying something like, Join my team. I'm partnered with Fabian Robinson. We both own part of Shopping Sherlock. I'm the millionaire maker, and we're going to show you how to become a millionaire as well. Now, guess what he's going to do with that clip? He's going to have that in all his promotions, all his videos. And a lot of you guys took pictures with Laurel and got your book signed and all that good stuff. Oh, I see Marciano there. Yeah, one more away, Marciano. I expect to see that happen. You hitting power over the next couple of days. So lead the way out there for Chicago. And your team, Marciano went. And he told me before, he called me up and said, Brandon, I'm not going to get distracted. There's so many things out there, but I'm focused. I need to be at this convention. I'm trying to bring my team with me. And he was there. He had Tonya with him. Tonya sponsored 2 people this week. She's a star affiliate. Marciano is one person away from power. And he was at the event. So the next one, 6 months from now, London, London, London. I have a goal to have at least 200 people from our team at the London event. So, oh, that's crazy, Brandon. Hey, I aim high. 200 people. We have 6 months. Start putting some money aside. Earn some money to make. I don't know, $1,500, $2,000. I got to check that flight. Registration's only, 100 something bucks. The hotel's not going to be that much, but I'm going to be spending like a week and a half there. So flight from Chicago, 1,200. That's per person. So start saving up now. Put money aside for that. You don't want to wait till the last minute to see if you can actually make it to the event. All right, next thing is up is 1 week after the convention. We still have a lot of month left for March. A lot of month left. Today is only the 9th. We want to practice what's called duplication on our team. Duplication. And that's very important. See, it's one thing for people to enroll somebody in the business. It's another thing for them to enroll somebody in the business, for that to continue going. So that's very important. I see Mike. I don't know why you shot me a text. Yeah, I see you on here. So you said don't forget me. So I guess that means you. I know you were at the presentation at the event. I don't know if you signed anybody up this week, but congratulations on you getting down there as well. 'Cause, yeah, Mike told me the same thing. He had that conversation with me. Said that I have to be at the event, and he made it happen, and he was there too. And he's on fire right now. That's Mike Spate. But duplication, duplication, duplication. The power of 4. I want to go over that real quick here. Where is it here? No, not that one. Let's see. Let me get my right slide. It would be the other direction. Here we go. Alright, we're going to talk about the power of 4. Now, we can do this slowly or we can do this fast. I know we say do your part, it's just getting 2, but we got to step our game up here. It's 4. 4 allows you to be qualified to get promoted to the top position of the company. So you can get 2 and stay with 2 all day long. You'll never get promoted to the top of the company. So to maximize the compensation plan, you need to enroll at least 4 people on your team. 4 people. So let's say we do the 5-week process. Your first week in business, you enroll 4. You just made $250. You made your money back. So when you're out there prospecting people, you're talking to people, and the first thing you want them to know is how fast can they make their money back. Let's get your money back in your pocket as fast as possible. So let's enroll 4 people your first week. Pull out your list, start inviting people to the presentations, and we're going to get you your first 4 people. You just made your money back. The second week in business, those 4 are going to duplicate you and do the same exact thing. You want them to get 4 as well. Why? Because you want them to make their money back. And once that happens, in people's mind, this is no longer a risk for them anymore. They're in their mind, they didn't lose any money. What's one thing that you hear people outside of network marketing say? Oh, I paid a lot of money. I lost all my money. This is a business. But people are people. No matter what. They will never say, I didn't do the work required to earn anything. It's always going to be somebody else's fault. Always. It is very rare that you'll have somebody actually hold themselves accountable. It's always somebody else's fault. So if you can eliminate that issue and that excuse from their vocabulary, they didn't lose any money because they just made their money back their first week in the business. Then your third week in business. Now you just made $200 off of that. Now your third week in business, they're doing the same thing. You just made $800. Everybody on your team has made their money back. They're in profit zone now. Your fourth week in business, same duplication, you're at $3,200. Your fifth week in business, you're at $12,800 just that week. Now you add all that up, that's $17,250 in bonuses, and everybody is on auto ship for $34.95. So now you're at $3,400 a month in residual income. $3,400 a month in residual income. Now numbers are perfect, people are not. So you have people that say all the time, "Wow, it's not going to work out perfectly like that." No, it's not. Somebody's going to mess up and sign up 20 people instead of 4. Or somebody might only sign up 1 or 2. This is just a mathematical example to give you a good idea of what you're looking at as far as numbers wise. Now, if 5 weeks is too fast, because we already have people in this company that's done that. You guys met them at the Vegas convention. You met them, Maribel. You met Peter Blackwell and his two top leaders. They did exactly this. Now, if it takes you longer than 5 weeks, what if you made this a 5-month plan? Instead of doing it once a week, you did it once a month. For your first month, for the next month, for the next month, duplication. 5 months later, would you be okay with $17,250 in bonuses and $3,400 a month residual income? Would you be okay with that? Yeah. I mean, 5 months is going to come anyway, right? So that is duplication. Now what I want to go into, I don't have a slide for this, but I want to talk about team etiquette. Team etiquette. We were supposed to talk about this last night, but I got long-winded and got off on a tangent. So we're going to talk about team etiquette. And what that means is this. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Now, this is something that I learned way back in the day before the internet stuff, where we built our business through meetings. We had one team call a week. We didn't even have presentation calls on a conference line. If you wanted to see this business, then you had to go to a local meeting in your area. And if there was no local meeting in your area, then you had to do the local meeting in your area, starting from your living room, and build from there. And wait till a Super Saturday came in your area, or you traveled to another city to get to see a Super Saturday. So the presentations, there was far more value in the presentations way back then. And they taught us about team etiquette, because one of those things was, if you remember back in those days, and you're at a hotel, and you walk in, you see how many reps are in the lobby waiting for their guests to show up, right? Meeting already started, and people are in the lobby looking out the window waiting for their guest. Or saving seats, in the front row, and their guest is 15 minutes late, and the front row is all empty. And then you had reps fighting with each other. So we had to go over team etiquette back then, but it's still the case today. Because today, we're doing most of our presentations online. Well, the meeting is still the meeting. I have people that say, "Brandon, why do I need to attend the presentation? I've already seen it once or twice. Isn't it the same exact information?" Yes and no. Yes and no. That's like me saying I already did a webinar last week. Why am I doing one this week? I already know. Why am I doing it again? Why do you go to church every Sunday? See, there may be something that you've heard before that all of a sudden clicks this time around based on your new experience. What do I mean by that? Have you ever read a book before? And then years go by and you read the same book again, you see it in a different light. You pick up something that you didn't pick up before. I do that every time I read Your First Year in Network Marketing by Mark Yarnell. Every time I read that, I get another nugget from it, and I've read it dozens of times already. And my first time reading was 1998. And I even did this experiment on this one guy. This was years ago, maybe 3, 4 years ago. I was doing a training and I was giving out books that you should read. In fact, I think I'll do that today too. And I told him to read Your First Year in Network Marketing, and he said, "Ah, I already read that book like 5 years ago." And I said, because I had just listened to a Jim Rohn clip, and I said, "Oh no, 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 no! You need to read it again. There's a new edition." So he said, "Okay." So he went and got it, read it again, and he came back and said, "You're absolutely right. There's some things in there that was added that wasn't there the first time around." I said, "No, it was the same exact book. You just have 5 more years of experience now, so you understand some of the things that was talked about the first time that you might not have experienced yet." Repetition is the key of all learning. Brandon, how do you do the presentation so well? Because I've done them and listened to them over and over and over and over and over again. Also, since we're playing team, have you ever gone to a party and there's only like, let's say if you're a guy, okay? You go to a party. There's 7 people at the party and 6 of them are guys. Do you stay? Maybe. Maybe not. Me, I'm out the door. There's nothing going on here. But I say I go to that same party and there's 200 people in the room and 150 of them are women because it's ladies get in for free. Am I staying or am I leaving? I'm staying. Why? Because it looks like there's something going on here. I don't want to miss out. So when we do presentations, we have almost 2,000 people on our team. We should have 400 or 500 people on every single presentation. Why? Because when a guest shows up and they see that there's 400 or 500 people on a presentation, you know what that's telling them? Something's going on here that I don't want to miss out on. Now you say, well, I don't have a guest. Should I still go to the presentation? Yes. Yes. Because your team members have guests. People in your downline have guests. So you want to be there to show support and you're learning at the same time. Nothing burns me more, because I don't do this, but nothing burns me more when I see upline that do not show up and their downlines there. I'm like, well, the more money they make, the more money you make. You want to support them. Why are they going to show up if they don't see you showing up? So you guys want to show up, be seen. That shows your leader that you're a leader, you're informed, you know what's going on. Another thing, because next time you may have a guest. And other people that don't have guests, since they're on, it's helping you in your business. We're in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. Also, we've been debating this for a while about the chat box. Leaving the chat box on or not. You know, I've been advised multiple times to turn the chat box off because it's a distraction. But that goes against how I do things. I love the interaction. As long as it's positive and productive interaction. Here's productive interaction. Man, I love this company. Wow, did you see that? You can make how much money? I love that product. I did that product. I saved. You know, that's productive interaction. This is not productive interaction. I sent a support ticket in and nobody got back to me yet. I can't hear. I can't see. What's going on? What's my password, Brandon? Can you repeat that again? Or asking questions. And what's interesting is the people who talk the most in the chat box aren't the guests, it's the reps. That is not giving a good impression to the guests. You want to be smart about this. If we were in a room and I'm doing the presentation, will you be talking in the middle of me doing the presentation? No, it's the same effect in a webinar. Because the more talking you're doing in the chat box means the guests are reading the chat box and not looking at the presentation. You guys understand this? So I'm asking you to refrain from excessive chatter in the chat box. I leave it on because I say things sometimes. Sometimes I'll ask you guys. You guys understand me? Do you have any question about this? So we want to maintain a professional environment. A professional environment. Whatever's going on with you at that time, and I'm in the middle of doing the presentation, I cannot stop the presentation to give you that attention, and you're the rep. There's nothing I can do. So please, if you have to chat, if you look underneath your chat bar, you see to everyone right now. Hit the down button and pull up one of the other leaders and send them a private message if you need help. And teach this to your downline as well. You guys be good. I don't do what my mentors used to do to us back in the day. They'd call us out in a minute. They call us out in front of everybody. We don't do that. No, we have a lot of sensitive people. But the way they said it, look, this is a $1 million business we're running right here. We don't have time to coddle people. You either want to treat this like a business or you want to go back to a job. Which is it? They would kick people out in a hurry. I remember one meeting. Mike Ashby he was a guest speaker from out of town in Byron Nelson in an ACN meeting way back in the day. And we have at a point, not to bring children into the presentation. We have another room that we had set aside for that. And one woman didn't care. So she brought her baby in. And she said, oh, it's okay, the baby sleep. So, of course you know what happens, just like a movie theater. Middle of the presentation, baby starts screaming. They tried to ask her if she'd just step out for a second. Nope, baby kept screaming. So Mike, in the middle of the presentation, he just sat down and said, I cannot continue until, this is like a boardroom here. I remember a time where another guy just kept raising his hand and standing up and asking questions in the middle of the webinar. And as a result, we had this one doctor who one guest was trying to get out to a presentation for 5 months. Finally, the doctor came out, and it was so unprofessional because the reps in the room, the way they were acting. The doctor just got up and walked out. Who knows what that doctor could have become with the business. Same thing here. This is a production. In fact, the webinar presentation is a production from A to Z, and every single one of you has a part in the production, not just the speaker. We play the videos, that's part of the production. Logging in early, part of the production. Making sure that your audio is on. Making sure that your guest knows what to do by getting there early. Part of the production. When we ask you to type your city and state, that's part of the production. It's showing the guests how big this is and who's involved. Interaction, when the presenter asks a question or says something from the audience, you guys interact. Like, type in the chat box how many customers you have. That's part of the production. Sometimes you might get called. You never know. Hey, we have a new person that hit power. Come on up and tell us what it feels like to be a power. You never know. You got to be ready. We're gonna bring up a global power to talk about this real quick. You never know. It's all part of the production. It's not a one man or a one woman show. It takes all of us to close the room. Team etiquette. Anybody have any questions about that? Any questions about that? Now I know one person because I always get someone to tell me this. Brandon, you just want to have a raw hype session, and I thought you said you like to keep it real. I do, but keep it real privately. We don't air out dirty laundry publicly. I cringed when Chuck Williams was talking a couple of weeks back, and somebody put in the chat box, "And this company can't even get back to me on one of my support tickets. I don't know what's going on." I'm like, "Oh, you've got to be kidding me." It was a rep, only to find out, yeah, he did get it. He just missed it. I didn't see that. Having a meltdown in the chat box. Think, ladies and gentlemen, this is your business, and nothing ever goes perfectly. Nothing. No company. There is no such thing. We always just be prepared when things don't go the way we want them to go, and we adapt to it. It's a glass half full or half empty. We adapt to it. It's not what happens to you, but how you handle the things that happen to you. Same team etiquette goes on our Facebook group. Same thing. It's okay to have questions about things. But if you really got to get negative about some stuff, send a private message to somebody. And we'll get that handled for you. So no questions about that. Let's move on to, I want to do some screen share, and I want to, well, let me pull up this other slide here. Those of you that missed the training last night, we went over some very good stuff. I have to admit it. That was some good stuff we went over, but really about sharing the vision on the industry that we're in. And I say this, I said this last night because a lot of people from the Vegas event had a chance to meet the European team and sit down with them and find out, what is it that they're doing differently than what we're doing to have the type of success that they're having. And you know what we came away with? They're not doing anything really different from us. As a matter of fact, we're doing far more than what they're doing. Far more than what they're doing. They have one meeting a month. One physical meeting a month. They have 2 webinars a week. I would think that the thing that they do more than us is probably 3-way calls, because that's all they're doing. 3-way calls, and they're signing people up after a 3-way call. They let them watch a recorded webinar, signing them up. But why are they signing up in droves and on this side of the pond it's not happening? And I gave you guys a little hint of that last night, and I gotta remember which article that was. Oh yeah, I know which one. I'm gonna tell you why. And it's good that you understand this. Okay, here's an article. Here is verification and proof. E-commerce expanding at breakneck pace. Online cross-border trade seen growing 5-fold by 2020. 5-fold. So the reason why we went over this stuff last night, because I wanted everybody to see that this was a trend and not a hobby. If you not a fad. If you saw the Chuck Williams webinar this morning, or presentation in St. Louis, you had Mark Levesque. You know what Mark Levesque said? He said, people, it is our job to go out there and save these people. They don't even know what's going on. We have to get ahead of this, because over the next couple of years, if you think it's bad right now in the economy, it is about to get far worse. Far worse for those who are not positioned. They're blissfully unaware, and it's happening right under our noses. So take a look at this. Online cross-border trade. The value of online exports in 6 of the top e-commerce markets will grow fivefold to 130 billion by 2020. With Britain, not America, Britain currently generating the biggest online trade surplus by selling more goods abroad. Okay, let's stop that right there. I did a launch call for Japan yesterday. Penny had a chance to be on there. And one of the leaders over there said this. He said he asked Michael Weeder a certain question. He said, because they're asking about the mobile app. He said, nobody in Japan has a PC. We all have smartphone and tablets, and that's how we use do our internet, and that's what we do for our shopping. Everybody. Everybody. In the U.S., it's about half have smartphones and tablets. And not all of them are shopping online with a smartphone and tablet. But in Japan, everybody. They were actually turned off by the Sherlock site. They did like the search bar, but they all have smartphones. Right? That's all they wanted to talk about. So now you look at Britain. The rest of the world is far ahead of us than Americans are. Americans blissfully unaware. And where's the fastest growth happening in our company right now? Oh, Britain. Let's go on to say this. The study by London-based management consultancy, OCNC, and U.S. search engine Google estimated the value of cross-border online trade in the United States, Britain, Germany, the Nordics, and the Netherlands and France at $25 billion for 2013. E-commerce is expanding breakneck pace with online retail sales in Europe seen doubling by 2018 to $323 billion, $437 million. So they are already exposed to what's going on than we are. They already understand this. Americans, we're still drinking coffee and playing on the tax bot right now. We don't get it yet. So don't be discouraged that they are having the growth and we're not here. It's, what that should tell you? You are positioned before this happens because it's going to happen, whether we like it or not. Whether you're ready for it or not. It's just a matter of when. We had our wake-up call this past holiday season, which is why the news is exploding with this stuff right now. Stores confront reduced shopper traffic, holiday sales up, the rise of online entrepreneurs in e-commerce. Twitter. You guys want to follow money and trends? Follow what the billionaires are doing. What are the billionaires doing? What are they talking about? What are they positioned in? And why is that important? Because I'm not going to talk about it tonight. We're short on time. But whenever we do, I talk about the river of money. Wealthy people make a lot of money in a good economy, and they make even more money in a bad economy. Why? Because they move with the trends. They move with the trends. While we don't. We wait for the government to try to bring the jobs back to us. But here's a billionaire. Listen to this. Leaked documents have revealed that Twitter is planning to allow its 232 million users to buy directly from the site as part of a new online retail venture called Twitter Commerce. According to Recode, the technology blog, the transactional service is a partnership with the U.S. e-commerce site called Fancy. Who is Fancy? Oh, it just happens to be a company that is invested and a board member of the Twitter founder, Jack Dorsey. So wait a minute. Billionaire Jack Dorsey is also an investor in an e-commerce site, and he's merging the two together and calling it a partnership. So you have a billionaire partnering one of his companies with another company. Follow the money. Follow the billionaires. Here's another billionaire, Howard Schultz. Now, the next two articles I'm going to read to you as if you are a lawyer. And we're going to break down certain segments of an article, the way millionaires and billionaires read things. Okay? Not the average person. The average person doesn't look at stuff like this. I want you to look at it this way. So you have to analyze. Okay, number one, this is a CNBC article on money. They're interviewing a gentleman. Well, first, what's the title of the article? Starbucks Schultz, there's a sea change happening in retail. Okay, let's analyze that. The choice of words is sea change, not ripple, not wave, not river. A sea change, which means it's big. In retail, well, wait a minute. Does he have retail? Yeah, well, yeah, he does have retail stores. Starbucks, coffee. But here's what he says: it's a good thing that people cannot buy lattes online. Hey, that's a good way to start this off. So he's letting you know right now, hey, my company doesn't even sell coffee online, all right? And it's a good thing for that. Did you see that? What he's saying there? It's a good thing that people can't buy my product online or I'd be in trouble. but he keeps talking. He says, because if they could, then Starbucks would be among the traditional companies that may get swept away by what Schultz has described as an online sea change, encroaching. What does that word mean, encroaching? Well, those of you who live in the East Coast and you've got all this snow happening and the snow starts to build up on you, it's encroaching on you, right? It's closing in on you. The borders are getting tight. It's invasion. A sea change encroaching upon brick and mortar retailers, most evident from a lackluster holiday gift giving season. Again, why is Howard Schultz speaking on this? What's the date of this article? January 24th, 2014. What just happened? Well, the financials were just released from the holiday season. So now you have all the billionaires weighing in on it. And it troubled him so much he had to go on TV and start opening his mouth. Why? Let's continue. Reporting first quarter earnings after the bell on Thursday, Starbucks said increased online shopping kept more U.S. consumers at home than usual during the holiday season, which meant less visits to coffee shops in malls and near retail outlets. Bingo! There is the carrot. There is the puzzle piece that connects the dots. If you don't go to the stores to buy items, if you're not shopping, then you're not going to stop at the Starbucks to get your coffee so that you can go shopping. Isn't that what people do? They get their coffee to get themselves geared up to go. So because people aren't shopping on the stores, they're not buying his coffee, and he's raising the red flag. And he was one of the first people to come out and say something before anybody else. He's screaming bloody murder. He's a billionaire, not broke cousin Pookie or Bubba down on the corner that always knows the secret of making money but's always asking you to borrow money. This is a billionaire bringing this up, and he's one of many. He goes on to say, this is a very important paragraph here. Schultz said he believes December represents an inflection point. What does inflection point mean? It's like a window to the future, the beginning. It's the sign of a trend, the beginning of what may end up becoming a habit. It's an inflection point in the growing use of online shopping services. In other words, a growing use of shopping Sherlock and mobile payments. We are navigating through what I believe to be a significant sea change. We're going to be talking about this for quite some time. That doesn't mean that's not a fad. If we're talking about it for a long time and the billionaires are the first ones to speak about it, what happens? All the followers out there are going to fall in line very soon. I would not want to be a traditional brick and mortar retailer that did not have mobile payments, that did not have social and digital media. Now, this last sentence here is like he's Nostradamus. Those companies are going to find themselves significantly challenged in 2014 and beyond. He's predicting the future. He says this is an inflection point. He's waving the red flag. Now, what just came out 3 days ago? Did I pull up that article? Yeah. Thank you, Penny, for this article. I'm going to do screen sharing right now. Okay, type Y if you can see my screen. That happened yesterday, and all of a sudden people said they couldn't see it. Type Y if you can see my screen. Because once I switch, I'm not going to be able to... Well, somebody will let me know. Penny or somebody just say, Brandon, we can't see the screen. All right. Look at the date on this. First, the date of this article is March 6th. Today is March 9th. News Channel 13, Albany, New York. What's the title? Staples to close 225 stores as sales move online. All right? We're going to break this article down like a lawyer. So you guys pick this up. And I'm going to do this next time. I'm going to download this video clip and upload it, and I'll just play it next time. But take a look at this. Staples has become the second major chain. That's a trend here. It's not the only one. It's not an isolated incident. The second major chain to announce the mass closing of stores this week, providing the latest evidence of how the retail landscape is being remade by shifts in American shopping habits. All right, did you pick that up? Retail landscape is being remade, which means as we know it from growing up from birth till now, it's being remade by shifts in American shopping habits. Once you form a habit, it's there to stay until you create a new habit, right? American shopping habits are shifting and changing. The nation's largest office supply. Largest office supply. Oh, why did this video start to play? Alright, I'll pause that when it comes up. Alright, the nation's largest office supply company said Thursday that nearly half of its sales are now generated online. What? Half? Half? Half of Staples sales are generated online? Hold up. Let's go look. Staples.com. Staples.com. If I were you guys, I would create a video saying, do you shop at Staples? Hey, why don't you download our Shopping Sherlock toolbar so that next time you go to Staples, look what just happened. Congratulations, you're going to earn 3.75% cash back from shopping on Staples. So since this article just told us that half of their shopping is done online, there's customers out there, right? Look at that. It's part of our network. Activate cashback. That's cool. I would do that with every single company. I'm going to do that when I have some time. Half of its sales are generated online, and it's working aggressively to cut costs and become more efficient. It aims to close more than 10% of its North American stores by the end of the next year. Didn't Howard Schultz say this is the beginning? Yeah. That's up to 225 stores as part of a plan to save about $500 million. Not only are they just going to save $500 million, but they're going to put that back into online. Now, if they're saving half a billion dollars, where's that money coming from? I don't know. How about the employees that they've hired? They're all going to be out of work. And you know what those people are going to say? The economy is so bad right now. The recession's getting worse. The government's not doing enough. We need a new government. I'm telling you now, it doesn't matter what president is in office. There is absolutely nothing they can do to change this. Hold on, why am I getting blown up? Why is Chris McCoy blowing me up? Nope, I didn't kick you out. Hey Joan, I'm in the middle of a presentation and he's blowing me up. Could you shoot a message to Chris? Find out what's the issue with him? Anyways, this is the nation's largest office supply. I hate getting interrupted. Where was I? Staples. Okay. Like I said, people are going to be thinking that this is a big recession that's taking place, and it's not. Staples chairman and CEO Ron Sargent said his company's stores have fallen short of expectations over the past 3 years. Let me send to this. Still blowing me up. All right. Golly. I did not kick you out, but cannot do anything right now. Join webinar. All right, one of the leaders can get in touch with him and find out what the problem is. All right, now this is very, very essential. Oh, I skipped the paragraph. Yeah, Staples chairman and CEO Ron Sargent said his company stores have fallen short of expectations over the past 3 years, and the company launched a plan last year to fundamentally reinvent. Hey, there's the key phrase right there. Fundamentally reinvent. That doesn't sound like a short fix. That sounds like, these layoffs is just the beginning and it's never going back. Because you have to understand something. Back in the old days, when a company laid off workers, it's because business wasn't doing well, right? And they always said once business starts to pick up, then we can hire workers back. We're approaching something that's new that we've never experienced before. And what that is that companies are laying people off, and it's not because the companies aren't doing well. It's because they're changing their business model. They're making more money than ever. They're just changing how they do business where they don't need employees. Do you guys understand that? And this is something that most people will never get. They're not gonna. What's going on here? Let me go back. I'm missing some stuff. All right, everything. Can you guys still hear and see me? Okay, is everything going good? Things going on behind the scenes I don't know about yet. I'm just trying to do the team call. All right, we're still good to go. All right, anyways, let me go back. Okay, like I said, and this is what Mark Levesque was talking about earlier. What Mark was saying. All the people that we care about out there, they are about to be hurting real bad. And it's up to us to show them that there's another way. Take a look at this one. It says, this is essential. Our customers are using less office supplies, shopping less often in our stores, and more online. And the focus on value has made the marketplace even more competitive. 2 days ago, 2 days before this article came out, Radio Shack, which is fighting to update its image, announced plans to close up to 1,100 stores, about a fifth of its U.S. locations, after its losses widened during a dismal holiday season. Wow. So one, you've got Radio Shack. Now you've got Staples. In January, you saw Best Buy. You saw Macy's, Sears. This is not isolated, ladies and gentlemen. Now here's another. This is an interesting paragraph. The recession did heavy damage to chains like Staples.
This conference is now unlocked.
What are you guys doing? I kept getting kicked off the first 35 minutes. All right, this is what I'm going to do right now because I can't. Let me. I got to be the only one being the host right now because there's too much distractions going on. So I want to get through this. All right. Anyways, take a look at this. The recession did heavy damage to chains like Staples, and competition from discount stores also hurts. But online sales are affecting brick and mortar stores across the retail sector, no matter if the company is selling clothes, books, or electronics. Shoppers are buying online more, and they're also window shopping virtually. So they are making fewer store visits, said Bill Martin, co-founder of ShopperTrack, which tracks data at about 40,000 U.S. stores. He said that's part of the reason the number of stores is contracting, even though overall sales are growing. Wow. That's something Americans aren't used to. The company's growing. Why are you firing us? Why are you laying us off? Shoppers are buying more online. That's why. They're window shopping virtually. That's why. They're not going to the store just to look anymore. Why? Because that takes time. It wastes gas money. You end up buying something that you didn't want to buy anyway. So anytime you leave the house, you know exactly what it is you're going to get. That's how it is now. Look at this. I think it's pretty clear that the consumer is evolving and might be evolving at a little faster pace than retail. He said, noting that shoppers can now use smartphones to compare prices during a store visit. Staples Inc. has already shuttered dozens of its North American stores in the past year and said it will close up to 225 by the end of 2015. Are you kidding me? Remember, they said this is just the beginning. They're going to close up to 225 stores. How many people is going to get laid off from that? And do you think this is the only year? I mean, 2014, 2015, 2016. You know, I think it's going to be very interesting, and I hate talking about politics. Politics and the religion is the most polarizing forces, but the 2016 presidential election is going to all be about jobs and the economy, right? And whoever's running for president is going to talk about how they're going to bring jobs back to Americans. And this is where Americans are going to need to wake up. There is absolutely nothing they can do to force these companies to hire people when everything is happening online. What I would be shocked is to see one politician step up and say, you know what? If the economy is going through a fundamental change, if businesses are going through a fundamental change, if billionaires are getting ready to adapt to this fundamental change, then we as leaders and the people need to encourage and educate our people to also undergo a fundamental change in the way we're educating them on what it's going to take to survive. Because if we're still talking about go to school, get a good degree, get a good, safe, secure job, a job that's going to take care of you for 40 years, you're doing a disservice and you're flat out lying to everybody and you're deceiving them. You're preparing them for the slaughter. And this is a fact. This is a fact. Very important. Let me ask this question. Has anybody else been getting kicked off? If you guys have been getting kicked off, let me know. All right, let me see something here. Hey, Jones, shoot a message to Chris and let him know that he's not the only one so he won't start acting paranoid. Other people are getting kicked off too, so I don't know. That might be a glitch that's taking place. All right. All right, you guys want to know? Well, let me before I forget, I'm going to give you in the chat box this article so that you can look this up. There you go. All right. Okay, here we go. This is some good stuff. Hate that I've been getting interrupted here. Losing my flow. All right, here we go. While it closes stores, Staples is offering more online. It increased the number of products it sells on the website, staples.com, fivefold in the past year, from 100,000 to 500,000. Sargent expects to triple that total to 1.5 million by the end of this year. What? They're offering more online. Hey, there we go. Staples.com. This is the whole Shopping Sherlock marketing tool right here. Despite the rising popularity of online shopping, Martin noted that retailers are still opening new stores in areas of population growth, and Sargent said his company has no plans to give up on physical locations. That's going to be a very short-lived model. I'm going to play Nostradamus and say that's a bad move. That's a bad move. The only way that's a good move is if they open up these new stores and turn them into distribution centers where somebody can place an order online and they can get the order shipped to them in their own city instead of at some warehouse across the country. so that they get it faster. That's the only way. That's a smart move. They believe that customers still want the convenience and service that they can get there. Now, that's a very bad move because you know who also said the same thing? Blockbuster Video. In their boardroom, when Netflix competition was brought up, you know what they said? Oh, we believe that our customers still want the convenience of coming into our stores, talking to somebody, and being able to pick out what video they want with popcorn and candy. It's the experience that our customers want. No, it's the fact that they can stay on their couch or their bed and watch TV from something getting mailed to them or streaming video is what they want. Where's Blockbuster today? So I'm going to be watching these news stories over the next couple of months to see how they evolve. Because you're not going to ever see that type of paragraph again. That said, stores have earned the right to stay open, Sargent said. We are committed to making tough calls when it's necessary. In other words, we are committed to firing people when it's necessary. They're already committed to doing so. It's not a thought. It's not maybe. It's not a plan. It's going to happen when it's necessary. Those tough calls, why don't they just say it? Firing people are going to be made by many retailers, not just Staples, not just Radio Shack. People that you know are going to be losing their jobs. In the subcategory of office retail, there is a rapid consolidation taking place both in physical presence and among one-time rivals. Staples has cut the size of its typical store in half over the past several years. Half. Last fall, with sales flagging, rivals Office Depot and Office Max completed a $1.2 billion merger. Shares of Staples Inc. tumble. Okay, let's see. Anything else useful there? No, that's about it. So in other words, let me stop the screen. So in other words, things are changing. And it's not going back to the way it used to be. So what does that mean for you guys knowing this? When you're talking to people, you have to have the confidence behind your words. You know something that people don't know. It's like the storm's coming and everybody has their blinders on except you, and you see it. If I was not a part of Shopping Sherlock, I would find something, I don't know what, but I would find something that has to do with this industry of e-commerce, one way or another. This is the future, whether we like it or not, and all the billionaires are getting positioned. So when I go to somebody and say, hey, how would you like to save money on items that you are buying anyway? Nah, I'm good. Okay, go spend more money. When times get hard, you need to save money, come look me up. I'm taking that type of an attitude now. When somebody comes to me and say, hey, Brandon, you need to take a look at my business. No, actually, you need to take a look at mine. That's my attitude now. Because we know something that they don't. Best indicator of future performance is past results. And if we already see that the rest of the world is moving faster than us, and we see how the rest of the world is reacting to Shopping Sherlock, what do you think is going to happen here in America? The same exact thing. It's going to explode. You have to be positioned for that and not worry about what other people have to say. You know, I've heard stories of people who want to quit the business because somebody said no to them. Or they say, I don't have the time to build the business. Really? You don't have the luxury of not doing it. You want to hit the position of global power as fast as possible by any means necessary. Any means necessary. With that, I went a little bit longer. I said that the next thing we were going to do is go over the script, so we'll do that tomorrow night on the Getting Started training call with Lou Smith. The customer script, how to get a customer and how to sign someone up in the business. But I love what Pete Hamby has to say. Just focus on 4 and teach them to focus on 4 and teach them to focus on 4 and teach them to focus on 4. I'm going to play a last video for us to exit. It's called the Did You Know? I forgot what article I read, but they said the one problem that's taking place right now and why this is going to be a huge issue for Americans and people around the world over the next few years is that that people's buying habits are changing faster than companies can keep up. They're playing catch up. Remember holiday shopping season? FedEx and UPS couldn't keep up with the postal shipping. They couldn't keep up with it. Now they are going on overdrive. But at the same time, the people are not going to be able to keep up when these companies start to change their business model and start laying people off and firing people, which is going to have a a domino effect, which is why Howard Schultz is screaming bloody murder right now, even though his company has nothing to do with online retail. He sees what's going to happen over the next couple of years, and he's preparing for it. So is Twitter, so is Facebook. Facebook bought an app for $19 billion. Doesn't look like there's a recession going on over there, right? So anybody have any questions, and we'll go ahead and dismiss. Anybody have any questions before I play the video? Type it in the chat box or raise your flag, and I'll allow you to answer. I'll unmute you. Let's go to work, guys. Let's promote people to Star and Power this week. Let's put people on the presentations. You've got to start talking to people. And don't worry about the response you get. We're really in the information zone now, getting the word out. Margie Becker Power, Marciano Power, that's what we want to start seeing here. All right, guys, thank you guys for joining us tonight. We have Penny Kyle doing the presentation tomorrow morning at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and then at 9 p.m. Yeah, 9 p.m. tomorrow night is our Getting Started training with Lou Smith. So let's start getting on the line with people and doing three-way calls as well. Miss Hayes is gonna hit power. Yeah, that's right. Tony as well. Watch this video and take it to heart because things are happening rapidly, very rapidly. See you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.